Imagine walking into a public restroom, only to find the most basic task, a quick trip to the urinal, turn into a daily struggle. For Zach Roloff from Little People, Big World, this isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a reality he faces every day. In a refreshingly candid PSA, Zach opens up about the challenges public spaces pose for individuals with dwarfism, shining a spotlight on a problem many might not even realize exists. Zach Roloff, beloved star of TLC's Little People, Big World, has always been open about the unique challenges of living with dwarfism. Recently, he took to social media with a blunt and eye-opening PSA about an everyday issue most people take for granted: using public urinals. His message: public restrooms are often designed with little to no consideration for individuals with dwarfism, making them feel excluded in spaces meant for everyone. In his video, Zach shared his frustration about how urinals are almost always mounted at a height that's completely inaccessible to him and others with similar needs. He pointed out that these design choices, while seemingly small, create significant barriers for people with dwarfism or other physical differences. It's not about special treatment, Zach explained. It's about equal access. Everyone deserves to feel comfortable in public spaces. Zach didn't just stop at raising awareness. He used the opportunity to educate his audience on the broader implications of accessibility issues. From sinks and soap dispensers to toilet heights, he highlighted how poorly designed public restrooms can strip away autonomy and dignity from those who need accommodations. His tone was firm yet understanding, emphasizing that most people don't notice these issues simply because they don't have to face them. The Little People, Big World star also urged businesses and architects to think inclusively when designing public spaces. He encouraged installing urinals at varying heights and providing alternatives like lower sinks and accessible stalls. It's not about being a hero, Zach said. It's about making small changes that create a big impact. His candid message resonated with fans, sparking a wave of support and conversation on social media. Many applauded Zach for shedding light on an issue that's often overlooked, while others shared their own stories about struggling with inaccessible public spaces. For years, Zach has used his platform to advocate for greater understanding and inclusivity, and this PSA is just the latest example of his commitment to making the world a better place. Not just for those with dwarfism, but for everyone. As he reminded his followers, it's the little things that make the biggest difference. Zach Roloff's PSA about public restrooms. A lesson in awareness. Zach Roloff, a fan favorite from TLC's Little People, Big World, is no stranger to addressing the unique challenges he faces as a person with dwarfism. On the Thursday, January 16th, episode of his and wife Tori Roloff's podcast, Raising Heights, the couple discussed various pet peeves in an episode titled All Things ICK. During the candid conversation, Zach didn't hold back on one specific issue: public restroom etiquette, particularly when it comes to urinal use. Men's bathrooms have urinals, and there's always a short one, Zach began, setting the stage for his story. There's 50 million tall ones and then one short one. And do you know what happens? I walk into the bathroom, and the 6'2" guy in there is using the short one. Zach's frustration stems from the fact that the lower urinal, often installed for accessibility or for children, is the only option available to him as someone with dwarfism. His experience highlights an overlooked issue in public spaces: how design choices and etiquette impact individuals with physical differences. When Tori chimed in to ask why people might choose the short urinal, Zach explained that it's often the first one a person encounters upon entering the restroom. You have to walk a few more feet to use the appropriate size urinal, he noted. And I walk in and stand behind him waiting because I can't use the tall ones. The tall urinals, Zach shared, are positioned at a height that's physically inaccessible for him. They're up to here, he said, gesturing to his chest. They're 3 feet tall. I don't know if it's a kid thing or an ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act thing, but it's the only one I can use. Tori summarized Zach's point succinctly: stop using the first urinal. Wives, tell your husbands. While Zach acknowledged there are exceptions, such as during crowded events when all options are in use, he emphasized the need for greater awareness and consideration in everyday situations. Anyone with dwarfism will hear me loud and clear on this. This is a known thing, he said. Sparking a conversation about accessibility. The couple's discussion quickly gained traction online, sparking a wave of support and discussion among their fans. Listeners applauded Zach for using his platform to raise awareness about an issue that many people may never consider. Love your conversations. Humorous, serious, and informative. Thank you for sharing, one fan commented. Another praised Zach's confidence and his ability to address challenges with grace. You're such a great example of owning who you are and not letting anything hold you back. Tori is lucky and you guys are such a cool team. Zach's PSA isn't just about urinal etiquette. It's part of a broader conversation about accessibility and inclusion. Public spaces, from restrooms to transportation systems, are often designed with little consideration for people with disabilities or those who are physically different. Zach's story serves as a reminder that even small design decisions can have a big impact on someone's ability to navigate the world comfortably and independently. ### A history of advocacy. Zach Roloff has long used his platform to educate and inspire others. Since Little People, Big World premiered on TLC in 2006, audiences have watched Zach and his family navigate life's ups and downs, including the unique challenges of living with dwarfism. Over the years, Zach has become a passionate advocate for inclusivity, whether it's through his work on the show or candid conversations on his podcast. Zach and Tori, who started dating in 2011 and tied the knot in 2015, have also been open about their journey as parents. They share 3 children, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah, all of whom have inherited Zach's form of dwarfism. Through their podcast and social media presence, the couple continues to shed light on both the joys and challenges of their lives. ### Family and change. Zach's advocacy hasn't always been confined to accessibility. He's also been candid about his family dynamics, particularly his strained relationship with his father, Matt Roloff. In May 2024, during another episode of Raising Heights, Zach opened up about the tension between them, which began when Matt chose to sell a portion of the Roloff family farm instead of passing it down to his children. It's not like existent, I guess, Zach said of their relationship at the time. The filming ended and you give yourself some space. But then the show airs 6 months later, and it kind of brings up old wounds. While Zach acknowledged that the dust is settled, he admitted that nothing's been fixed. He expressed hope that time might heal the rift, but for now their relationship remains distant. Despite these challenges, and when Matt chose to sell a portion of the Roloff family farm instead of passing it down to his children. It's not like existent, I guess, Zach said of their relationship at the time. The filming ended and you give yourself some space. But then the show airs 6 months later, and it kind of brings up old wounds. While Zach acknowledged that the dust is settled, he admitted that nothing's been fixed. He expressed hope that time might heal the rift.